The other thing is, when I was here last month, we asked for a town hall meeting. And you said that his schedule is just a problem. And I went home and I thought about that a lot. And I thought, he's been in office for like 16 years and he hasn't figured out that to come home and meet with his constituents and that everybody wants to see him. He needs to come home and talk to his constituents and face us and hear this from us. And you know, I went to DC and I was told he wasn't in his office. And 5 minutes after I left, somebody else went in there and he was in his office and he wouldn't meet with me. I want to see him. I went all the way across the country. He needs to come and talk to his constituents.
I'm from Forks, and I stopped on my way here at just the post office and getting a milk on the way here. And I told friends what I was doing this afternoon. And I had 7 people tell me, just as casual meetings, some from Forks, that they supported this action today. And that's just casually on the street. So how many other people that I support from my area that you might not think, right?
I'm Willie Stark from Port Townsend, and I really want to say that after the 2006 election, we had hoped that there might be more remedial process in Congress, especially the House. And to say that Nancy Pelosi was an obstruction might be a bit strong, but by now we are tired of waiting, and it really is time that Congress respond to the people.
Thank
And do their jobs.
Might have to impeach her first.
That's right.
Representing Veterans for Peace, the North Olympic chapter again, and I'm a U.S. Navy veteran, 4 years, and I was a peacetime veteran service. But as soon as I got in the Navy, I realized there was another war going on, and even though it was peacetime, and I realized that I had lost my constitutional rights when I volunteered to go in the Navy. And I realized that there's a war going on against the American people, and it's being waged by the United States government. And this war continues today, but during the 60s, 70s, and 80s, there's visible recordings and records of this war against mostly victims who were people of color, Indians, African Americans, Hispanics, students who opposed their government, as at Jackson State and Kent State. I'm sure you remember. And the reason I'm here, and many of these gray-haired people are here today, because we remember. And we remember that these rights have been they've tried to take these away from us for many years in many different ways. Today, it is the most sophisticated, nasty method that I have ever seen. Patriot Act, mislabeling something like this. War on terrorism, mislabeling this war. And now, Norm Dix votes for revisions in the Patriot Act. Does he vote for more money for the war? Yes. And I'd like Norm to think about this when he's in his bedroom getting ready to go to bed. Look in the mirror and see what's behind him. What's behind him happens to be close to 4,000 American servicemen and women, and probably close to 1 million Iraqis. These are ghosts that he and his ilk are responsible for. And I think that he can correct this. He can begin to make some changes. He can vote to end this war. He can also help Veterans for Peace in funding some rebuilding in Iraq. And I'd just like to say, bring impeachment to the floor and do it now before they are successful in destroying our democracy. I'm very passionate about this, and I want to be sure this message gets to him, because I don't think he is listening. And one last thing that I heard Jim Hightower say last night in one of his keynote addresses was, coming from the Beatitudes and the Sermon on the Mount, Jesus said something to the effect that the meek shall inherit the earth. Well, Jim said, if the meek are going to inherit the earth, our current crop of Democrats are going to be the biggest land barons in the history of the world. And we'd really like to see Norm Dix stand up and show some balls, really.
Well, we'd like to be proud of him. Right now, we're very not proud of Democrats.
He's got the power, he should use it.
Ron, did you have something else to say?
Well, I guess it was just sort of covered, but, you know, Norm's been there for 30 years.
Right.
We know he has a lot of power. That power transcends voting to send something to the judiciary.
Right.
He could go to Nancy Pelosi. He could get his friends to go to Nancy and say, look, Nancy, we've got to change. We've got to get moving.
He could do what Representative Wexler.
Yeah.
He's a leader.
Oh, yeah, he's got a lot of power.
Yes, he
Yes,
is
he
a
does.
leader, and
Yeah.
he needs to be a statesman.
I'm not sure that Norm is a leader anymore. Every time I've heard him talk, all he does is
I mean,
whine
he
about
can
how
be
he
a
can't
leader,
do
yeah.
anything. And
His
I think
mentor-
if he can't do anything, then he needs to come home and stay in Washington and let someone else represent us.
His mentor, Warren Magnuson, was a leader. Norm Dix has displayed very few of those characteristics. I agree.
Please note on there, we want to know where he stands and
yeah.
what he plans to do.
We asked him at the picnic, and all he responded was, well, what have they done?
No more excuses.
Remember that? He said, what have they done?
I'm not sure they've done impeachable
I'm not sure
offenses.
they've
this
done
year.
No,
That's
no
what
more
he said.
We
excuses,
can refer
results.
him to some constitutional attorneys who are experts in what they've done.
Yeah, the lawyer's report is quoted.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tell him we're damn mad and we're not going to take it anymore.
We could send him that movie too.
Yeah, if I could
just
take many
follow up
excuses from
With
my
that,
husband, I'd divorce
several
him.
years ago, we were having a very active group over in Port Townsend called the PT Dust, the Port Townsend to Cleveland Uranium Study Team. And someone suggested that one of the local political experts come and give us some advice on how to get what we wanted from politicians. It was basically be very respectful, be basically sycophantic, and go in there and kiss ass and treat them very specially, and then you might get what you want. We've tried that approach. We've been here 2 or 3 times. Very nice. We are absolutely pissed off at Norm Dix, and if you don't get that message through to him, then we will continue and we will get more pissed off, and we will have an election coming up again, and we'll look for somebody to replace that man.
I will be sure he gets that message.
I'm Lorene Martin from Port Townsend. I speak for many, I think, when we reflect on the extent to which Bush and Cheney are willing to subvert democracy and deceive the American people. We are deeply concerned that the next election may not be allowed to go forward, that they will find another pretext to declare martial law perhaps in this country, and to use those detention camps that they're having a Halliburton subsidiary construct in this country for those who oppose them. We appeal to Norm Dix to do his duty, to stand up and honorably represent us and our legitimate fears.
It's not Nancy Pelosi's position to say it's off the table. This is the right of the people, and she can't take it away from us.
I'm Glenda Nelson. I'm with the Jefferson Democratic Central Committee, and we have a resolution that's before Norm right now, along with the other counties, a resolution for impeachment of both Bush and Cheney. So today's efforts of people coming from all over our counties that are in Norm Dix's area of expertise, he represents us, we're all coming together saying that we have to have impeachment. We have to have our rights back. Wanting him to hear us. We're his constituents, we're the ones that support him, we're the ones that elect him. we want him to sign on with Wexler.
Hope he gets the full impression of what we're saying here today.
That's really important.
Thank you.